Hello, all. It is Sunday. It is time for my mental health vlog. Let's see. Spent most of this week sick. About Tuesday morning, I woke up with a really sore throat, but I just kind of chalked it up as a sore throat, no problem. But then Wednesday, I just was really feeling completely run down. My throat was sore. I had a horrible night's sleep because I was having a fever and tossing and turning all night long. Wednesday night was the same way. Excuse me. And so even I had a doctor's appointment already scheduled for Wednesday morning. So while I was there, I'm like, check everything. And she said it looked like strep, but it didn't test positive for strep. So she's treating me for strep, but the antibiotic would also work, I guess, if it was the two other things she thought it might be, which was one was mono and one was the flu. She said there's so many very strong strands of so many things going around right now. It's bronchitis, pneumonia, flu, mono, strep, COVID, RSV. There's so many different strands. Like everyone's got it. Everyone's got something. It's just horrible. So, but I will say it gave me some time to really rest. I was able to draw and work on some new patch designs. I was able to draw and work on some new other designs, and just take it really easy because I really didn't have a choice. My body just wasn't wanting to do a whole lot of anything. I slept a lot. I think one day I slept until noon or 1. I don't know. But very lucky that I've got PTO and a job where I can take time off if needed and have medical insurance to go to the doctor. Although I found out this week that my doctor is no longer my network, so I hate Blue Cross Blue Shield. I hate all medical insurance companies. I think the medical industry in America is completely broken. There are so many systems in America that are broken. Our medical system and insurance system is absolutely one of them. And the problem is I just don't know how to fix it. So I'm gonna have to look for a new doctor, which sucks because I did nothing wrong, and here I am having to do more work. And I really like my doctor, and that sucks. But some things you have no control over. As my fiance pointed out, just because I have no control over it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. Well, that's very fair. So on one of the days that I had off, I watched some old movies, and I started watching a Goofy movie, which I haven't seen since I was a kid. I've got some patches from the movie, and they're pretty popular. I'm like, well, let me just rewatch it again. And I watched it again, as an adult, and it is a very father-son movie, and it's very different watching it as a father versus watching it as a son. Especially because I actually enjoy spending time with my son. I cried. It was a funny movie. It was a great movie. I love the movie. But I realized it was kind of like an awakening moment for me. I'm like, holy shit, I am Goofy. Like, there's a lot of Disney characters I've always associated myself with or felt characteristics with or connections with. I've never felt a connection with Goofy. And the thing is, there were scenes where he was singing along with the radio and Max didn't want to listen to it. And there was other stuff that he was doing and Max didn't want to do it. And I'm like, oh my God, I really am Goofy. So that was a sort of strange spring awakening to realize, like, holy shit, you're Goofy, and really, you're Goofy. So anyway, the movie hit very differently. Had my son all weekend. I was only supposed to have him Friday, but my ex is sick as well, and he needed some extra rest. So he asked if I take him another day, and since I was feeling better, I'm not going to turn down time with my son, because even when he's here, I only get him for very short periods of time. But Friday, we picked him up from school, and we went down to We went over to a Brazilian steakhouse and had dinner with Grandma and Grandpa for Grandpa's birthday. He said, "I'm too tired. I don't want to go. My social battery is drained." And I'm like, "Well, you've got a whole 35-minute car ride to charge back up." But he was present. He had a good time. He was delightful at dinner. He tried all kinds of new food, which is very not like him. And he said, "Oh, this steak is really, really good. I can never be a vegetarian." I'm like, "Well, you're going to figure that out for yourself." I said, "I had a phase where I was vegetarian for like 2 years, or at least I didn't eat beef for like 2 years because I thought cows were cute." I mean, he's gonna figure it out on his own. He's either gonna be a vegetarian or a vegan or a carnivore or whatever. He's gonna be what he's gonna be. I can't control it. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. On Saturday, we had a pretty chill day. I have my friends. I have two friends, a gay couple, and one of them has 3 boys, and I've talked about them before. And so my fiance and I, since we had my son, and they, the boys all like to hang out and play together. We went up to their house on Saturday, and our son hung out with their boys, and it was a great time. They had a good time. I got to see Odin, which is one of their dogs, and he's very, very old. He's almost 13 years old, and he's just a big ball of sweetness. And I really feel like he remembers me whenever I see him because I love him so much. Like, I totally feel like I'm having an affair on my dog. I love Odin so much. I can't help it. So I got to do that. It was nice to get out of the house, honestly, and hang out with some people, because I hadn't been able to do like my meeting in the week just because I didn't want to go and get anybody sick or be exposed. And I felt like shit. So, and then he was pretty good Saturday too. On Sunday, it's all Saturday night, about 11 o'clock. That's when the adult parameter kicks in and turns off the Wi-Fi for all of his devices. And this is the first time that's happened. We told him about it, but it's the first time that's happened. So yeah, 11 o'clock, I got a request on my phone to share the password with him. And I'm like, well, that's not going to do anything because he's restricted from the Wi-Fi. So I hit sure. And then I heard the phone fall, get tossed, dropped, hurled across the room. I don't know. Hollered up and asked if that was him. He said yes. And he said, "Why did you change the Wi-Fi?" I'm like, "I didn't change the Wi-Fi. It's parental controls. It's after 11 o'clock. You need to go to bed." "But I can't do this." I'm like, "Okay, go to bed." "But what about this and this?" I'm like, "Okay, go to bed." I'm like, "No, go to bed." My fiance said he was proud of me because that was 2 times this weekend I put my foot down with my son. The other one was he wanted to buy some Jack Skellington character in one of his online games, Roblox, I think, I don't know. And I mean, it's only a couple of bucks, but he asks all the time for these different characters, and he's been spending a lot of his own money on these game characters and game packs and whatnot. So I just told him, like, Joshua, I love Disney stuff. I said, but I can't have everything Disney. I can't have every collectible. I can't have every thing that's got a Disney villain on it. I can't. It's impossible. So you have to be okay with the fact that you're not always going to get everything for something that you think is cool. I said, so tonight, no, we're not buying an expansion pack of Jack Skellington. Well, please. And I said, no. And I looked at him like he was in disbelief. I was saying no. And I said, I can't always say yes, Joshua. You can't have everything. No. So that was twice this weekend. I had to put my foot down, and I should have been doing it years ago, honestly. But I feel like he's finally reached that age where I gotta start kicking his ass, because if I don't, the world's going to. So this morning, when he broke 2 rules that I caught him breaking, the punishment was Grandpa and my fiance were outside working to patch cracks in the bricks. I have no idea why I have such a hard time saying that. So I thought, well, what a great opportunity for my son to learn a skill that I sure as hell can't teach him. So I was doing stuff around the house, and I sent my son outside. I'm like, I said, Grandpa, my fiance, I said, y'all have a helper. He's here to learn, and he's here to help. Put him to work. And I came inside and started changing sheets and linens and stuff and whatnot. So he got some manual labor today, and he actually said he had a good time doing it. He was also very paranoid about his hair this weekend because I've been threatening for a while, but his dad and T have finally threatened that if he comes home with his hair and there's like a single knot in it, they were cutting it off today. Like, they were prepared and ready to cut it off today. So my son took extra care of his hair, and his hair looked nice, and it felt nice, and it smelled nice, and it just wasn't gross or rat's nest. And I said, I really appreciate the fact that you actually took the time for you to, to treat your hair the way your hair should be treated. That's called self-care. So I'm very proud of you for doing that this weekend. I said, this is something that you should be doing a couple of times a week, at least, to maintain your hair. So his hair is down to here now. Yeah, that's maybe here now. It's long, and it's longer than I would like it to be, but it's his hair, so he's gonna do what he wants to do with it. Worked on some new patches, put some new designs out there, which I haven't done for my Froggy Doll or FD Designs business. I haven't been able to do that in a while, so I was excited to be able to put out some new content. I had made a post about a week ago talking about how horrible January was, because there were a list of things that were expensive and wrong and we had no control over, and blah, 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 sickness and injury and all that kind of stuff. And I saw a bunch of people making comments saying, I'm so sorry all this happened to you. I hope things get better. And I'm like, but I didn't really talk about the fact that even though all those shitty things happened, like, I'm still grateful for everything that I did have happen in January. And I needed to express that. I needed to balance that out. So yesterday I kind of made a very long list of all the amazing things that came out of January. Even being sick gave me time to be home and rest, and it gave my fiance and I to have some good quality time together, even though we were just sitting there feeling like crap, but we were still together. So I mean, there are lots of good things that came out of January, but January overall was still very expensive. It's turning out to be very expensive because there's things we found in January we're still getting quotes on. So I want to talk about bottom shaming. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and he was talking about how it's funny how some guys get so angry if you even give any intention that there are a bottom, or even like would bottom for, like, if they're would bottom for someone, like, I'm not a bottom, I'm 100% top, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, or maybe it's always just been there and I've just never really, I did see it. I do see it. And I remember it being that way. I remember the concept early on when I was learning about gay and finding out more about, who and what I am. Lord knows I didn't have the resources or tools for that. So I did the best I could with what I had, and I pieced things together. There was a bit of shame, because when you are figuring out your sexuality, a lot of people are like, I associate being penetrated with being a woman, and for some reason that's negative to them, or it makes them seem like less of a man. That alpha male fragility, try that one again, that alpha male toxic fragile masculinity. Taylor Swift, I love you, by the way. I don't love a lot of your music, but I love what you're bringing out in the NFL right now. You keep showing up for your boyfriend's game. You keep supporting your man. Do nothing else. Support your man, because it's pissing off people, and I love that. Masculinity is so fragile. God, especially in this country. Actually, in most countries, masculinity is any threat to masculinity. Some people just are met with death. So men need to chill the fuck out. We are women are far superior to men in about every way possible. Just gonna say it. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, bottom shaming. Like, there's no shame in being a bottom. My brand name is burlybottomdesigns.com. And it's like, I don't understand why you would associate shame with anything that feels good and natural to you. So I am a proud bottom. Okay, so I'm bottom verse. I do top from time to time, but I much prefer bottom. It's just it's what my body prefers. I have no shame in that. And I don't understand people that would think that I'm a less of a man because I can take a dick. Most of you can't take a joke, much less a dick. So, I say you, not you. Most people that watch this are cool people. But if you're so insecure with ever being, considered less of a man, then I have some Greek and Roman gladiator stories that will just blow your mind. It's written in the ceramic ware, it's written in the pottery. I think I'm done. Check on your friends, make sure they're doing okay. Check on your loved ones, make sure they're doing okay. Make sure you're doing your self-care. Something self-care. Make sure you're scheduling something for yourself, doing something for yourself, even if it is just taking an extra long poop with a book in the bathroom with a candle lit and the door locked and the kids and the pets outside. Just some kind of self-care for you. Mine was recovering from being a plague. All right, guys, I will chat with you all next week. Dads, if you have not watched Goofy movies since you were a kid, give it a watch. You'll be amazed the different things you pay attention to and that hit you as a parent versus a child. Just my fun observation for the week. I'm Goofy. Who knew? All right, bye guys.